Okay, these notes are about the mean, median, the mode, and the range. We're going to start talking about statistics for a little while. Okay, so the mean is another name for the average. And to find the average, you add up all the numbers and then you divide by how many numbers there are. Okay, so if there are 15 numbers, you divide by 15. Okay, the median is the middle number. And to find the median, what we'll do is rewrite the numbers from smallest to biggest, and then we'll look for the number in the middle. The mode is the one that appears the most, and the range is just the biggest number minus the smallest number. Okay, so we'll look at a few examples here. Okay, here's the first one. Now these are how the numbers are given to you. They're all out of order, so let's start off by putting them in order from smallest to biggest, and I did that here. So these are the numbers in order. Okay, now I'll find the mean or the average, so I'm going to add them all up. So 20 plus 16 plus 13 all the way on down the line. I'm going to add them all up. And when I do that, I get 99. And then I'm going to divide that by 9 because there are 9 numbers. Okay, so 99 divided by 9 is 11. So again, add them all up. You get 99. Divide by 9 because there's 9 numbers. Okay, I'll do the median in a minute. The mode is the one that shows up the most, and that was 10 because there's two tens. And the range is just the biggest minus the smallest, so 20 minus 6 or 14. It's much easier to do the range, I think, when you put them in order from smallest to biggest, because you can just easily see where the biggest number and the smallest number is there at the beginning and the end, and you just subtract them. And one other thing I should mention before I do the median, and I kind of forgot, is when you rewrite the numbers in order from smallest to biggest, make sure you have all the numbers in your list. So I like to count first. There were 9 numbers here. And then after I reordered them, I like to count them to make sure I got 9 numbers down here also. Because I know if my counts don't match up, I made a mistake somewhere. You could also put little marks or, kind of cross them out as you go along to make sure you get them all too. And I highly recommend doing something like that so you don't lose track. Okay, now let's find the median. And the median is the middle number. So one thing sometimes people do is they kind of cross numbers out and then they find what number's left in the middle. I'm not going to do that, but I'll just put little checks over here. So I'm just going to go in order from the biggest to the smallest, taking 1 off of each edge. So I've got 3 off from the front, 3 off at the back. Take that one off and that one off, and look, what I'm left with is my middle number, or my median, which is 10. Okay? So again, you could also use your fingers and just kind of cover them up and figure out which one's left in the middle. Okay, let's look at one more example. Okay, so here we go. Again, let's check. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. I'm going to reorder them from smallest to biggest, and let me make sure I've got them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. So again, just keep track. It's really easy to lose a number when you're putting them in order from smallest to biggest, and then that's going to make your whole problem wrong. Okay, so I think obviously looking at this, I'm going to jump around a tiny bit. I've got 3 4s, so there's my mode, that's 4. I'm going to do the range too right off the bat because that's the biggest minus the smallest. That's 10 minus 4, which is 6. Okay, now there's 10 numbers, so let's add them all up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, sorry, we know there's 10 numbers. Let's actually add the numbers. 10 plus 10 is 20. Plus 8, 28, plus 7, 35, plus 6 is 41, another 6 makes 47, plus 5 makes 52, 4 more 56, 4 more 60, and 4 more makes 64. So that's where this 64 comes from. I added them all up. Okay, and there's 10 numbers. I'm going to divide by 10, and I get 6.4. Oftentimes the mean or the average will have a decimal in it. Okay, so add them all up, divide by 10 to get the mean because there's 10 numbers. Now let's do the median. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cross them out here. So I'm going to go cross out 1 on either end and keep going until I'm left with some numbers in the middle. Uh-oh. If I cross out these 6's, there's nothing left. That means my median is in between those two numbers. Now this one's pretty obvious. What number's in between 6 and 6? Well, it's just another 6. But what you'll do if you can't figure out what number is directly in the middle of these two around the middle here, these two numbers that are around the middle, is you'll add them up and divide by 2. So 6 plus 6 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. Again, it's pretty obvious that the number in between 6 and 6 is just a 6. But again, if it's not so obvious, and I'll write a little example out here in a minute, you can add them up and divide by 2. Okay, so here's just one more little quick example here of a median. Let's say I've got 6, 8, 14, and 19 are my numbers. Okay, so the median is right here in the middle. It's going to be in between 8 and 14. So what number is halfway in between 8 and 14? Some of you might be able to figure that out. It's 11. But if not, again, you just take those two numbers that are around the middle, add them up, and divide by 2. So 8 plus 14 is 22 divided by 2, which is 11. So that would be the median. Okay? If it's not obvious, take the numbers around the middle, the two numbers that surround the middle, add them up and divide by 2. So most of the time it should be pretty obvious like this. Okay, so I hope that's good, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.